On my way home, stumbling on the pavement, yeah, yeah.
So hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. This is another beauty glam video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I made and created this very long braided ponytail hairstyle from start to finish. If you guys are interested, you definitely want to sit back, relax, and let's get into this. Okay, beauties, so first things first, we are going to start off looking basic. Now I'm just going to get my hair out of the ribbon. I'm going to fluff it up and just kind of see what I'm working with. I know this is what we're looking like, but this is what we're going to be looking like when we are done with this tutorial. So we're going to start off with my hair. I'm just going to wet it a little bit just to make it easier to work with. I want to be able to slick this down as flat as possible. You can go ahead to blow dry your hair before wetting it, and I'm going to be using this leave-in conditioner from Mega Growth. I love this. I'm in absolute love with it because it has like a wet feel to my hair. It adds a lot of moisture but kind of wets it and slicks it down. If you guys are struggling with like tough hair, 4C hair, add this to your hair and it's just going to give it so much moisture and just makes it easier to comb, brush, and also slick down. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get this as sleek as possible. Now I'm just going to pack my hair in a very mid, not too high, not too low bun. And honestly speaking, I wish I had blow dried my hair. That way it would have been really straight and I won't be having like this really puffy ponytail going on right here. I really struggled with this. So if you can slick the tips of your hair, if you can get it as slick as possible, not so voluminous, amazing. So I'm going to be using this growth oil again from Mega Growth. I'm going to use this to just also add a little bit of moisture, shine, healthiness, you know, just add that glow to my hair, if I do say so myself. And I love how it's looking now. I don't like when my hair looks crusty, adding a lot of gel and whatnot. I want it to still look healthy but at the same time sleek at the same time. So for my edges, I'm going to be using this edge control. I'm going to be swooping my edges, my baby hair. I'm not a pro at this, but do what works for you, to be honest with you. I just want the front, my baby hair, to look as sleek as possible. What goes on at the back, in middle, not really my business, but the front has to look amazing. So take your time while doing this. Brush this. You could do this before packing the hair, but honestly speaking, I don't want a lot of products. I'm only going to be doing this now and focusing it on the edges, my baby hair. Now I'm going to take my scarf and I'm going to just tie this down. Again, we want this to be really sleek so that way it kind of fits into the ponytail that we're trying to create, because we want to create like a still very glam looking hairstyle but also very sleek at the same time. I'm going to tie this down and then focus on attaching the extension to my actual hair. Okay, so now this is what we're looking like, and for the extension I'm going to be using this braiding hair from Darling, and I'm going to be using it in the color number 1. This is what it looks like. It usually comes with 2 bundles or 2 packs. I'm going to unravel this. While doing this, you do want to be careful, so because the longer the extension you're using, the more likely it might tangle up, and once it tangles up, it's really difficult and really frustrating. Trust me, I struggled with this and you will see this in this video. So now that I've unraveled both bundles, this is what it's looking like put together, and this is also the length. Pretty long, and I'm excited. Yay! So I'm going to be using the growth oil just to moisturize the extension, to moisturize the braiding hair. I want it to look really shiny just so it blends in with my hair. It's easier to work with, it's not frizzy. I'm going to section this braiding hair into 3 halves. Now I'm also going to kind of see what it looks like when I attach it to my hair, and I think it kind of flows well color wise. So I'm going to divide my ponytail, my hair, into 3 equal halves. This is for braiding purposes, and I'm going to then also divide my braiding hair into 3 parts and kind of segment that with my hair at the same time. Okay, so now I'm going to start braiding. If you guys are new to braiding, welcome to my channel. I have everything covered up. I'm going to leave a link right here so you guys can check that out. I have a tutorial on how to braid your individual braids, and the same thing kind of applies to this. Now again, because I did not blow out my actual hair, it has a lot of volume and texture to it. It's kind of really hard to work with, so I'm trying as much as possible to hide my natural hair. So now I'm just going to take a piece of that braiding hair and put that aside. I'm going to be using this later on to wrap the connection between my hair and then the braiding hair, so that way it doesn't show and it doesn't look weird. So I'm going to keep braiding this, keeping in mind that I need to actually hide my own hair because of how fuzzy it is, how voluminous it is, and I'm going to take my time doing this. Again, the longer the braiding hair is, most likely it's going to be really hard to work with. So you want to take your time, because once it tangles, it's going to be a struggle. So while I'm braiding, I'm making sure that I'm loosening the braid, because I don't want this to be like a really tight braid. I want this braid to have pattern, and also want it to have a volume. I want it to be big in a way. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep braiding. I'm not going to be too tight with it. I don't want a tight braid. I want a braid that has volume and that has width at the same time, with length. Okay, so I'm going to keep braiding. And yeah, take your time while doing this. This doesn't take a lot of time, but if you're rushing while doing this, trust me, it's going to be harder because it might tangle up. And once it tangles up, girl, game over. It's going to be a struggle. So yeah, while I'm braiding, I'm going to just loosen this up, make sure that I like the pattern, because if I don't like the pattern, at this point, it would be so easy to loosen it up and re-braid it again. So again, do it step by step. Take your time while doing this.
As well sleep with the doors unlocked. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Ooh, I might as well sleep with the doors unlocked. Ooh, yeah, yeah.
I am just going to keep braiding till I get to the end and to the last bit of it, and then I'm going to seal it up. But again, like I said, this literally needs your patience. I tried as much as possible not to fast forward, not to over edit this video, so you guys can really see how long this took me. Technically, this took me like over a little bit of 20 minutes, and that's because I struggled halfway. Well, this is what we're looking like right now. I'm going to braid this down to the tip. Amazing. So this is what we're working with. It looks scruffy at the tip, but that's fine. So I'm going to use a little bit of that growth oil and apply that to that strand that we left out. I'm going to use this strand to wrap around the ponytail tip, the ponytail beginning part. I'm going to use this to wrap this around. Now, in case that area looks a mess, this is going to be the eraser or the concealer. This is going to cover it up and make it look as neat as possible. You can go ahead to use your got2b spray to lay this as flat as possible, but again, this is just what works for me. I don't want to use a lot of product, and yeah, I'm gonna tuck this somewhere in between my hair. And again, you can use your bobby pin whatsoever, but I'm just going to keep wrapping this round and making this as tight and as firm as possible. Now, this is what we're working with. Now, I'm going to go ahead to loosen up the braids just so I get more volume, and I'm loving how it's looking. It's not looking skinny, it's looking thick, it's looking healthy, it's looking beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead to just burn the tips out and burn out any strand that I see right now. And again, this is quite optional. You can just go ahead to dip this in hot water, or you can tie this down with a rubber band, but I'm just going to be burning it just so it's a little bit I want to say crunchy, but also it's a little bit harder to unravel, right? Burning it makes this tough, so it's going to be hard to unravel. Again, if you want to do this method, you can burn it and then dip it into a warm or cold water instead of using your hands. But girls, guys, I've been doing this since forever, since I was in primary school. This is the look that we achieved, guys. Amazing. I'm in love with it. I'm in love with the volume, and I just love how it looks so effortless. It took me less than 30 minutes to make, and I absolutely am in love with it.
Well, sleep with the doors unlocked. Yeah, yeah. I might as well sleep with the doors.
So an amazing thing about this hairstyle is that it could be multi-purpose. So you can style it however you want. You can wrap it in a bun like I'm doing right now and just tuck it in, secure it with a bobby pin, and then you are good to go.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the one, looking for someone who cares about my needs. Ain't nobody calling my phone up just to make sure I get home safe and sound. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I fall down